Good afternoon and welcome back to the regular Board of County Commissioners meeting. We are proceeding through budget hearing number 3, beginning with the Department of Public Works presented by Jack Ladley.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, Honorable Commissioners. I'm Jack Ladley, the Interim Director for the Department of Public Works. Thank you for the opportunity to present what we as a department see as our critical needs for the upcoming budget cycle. Our team worked diligently to identify essential items that lack current funding sources. Today, I hope to be able to outline these priorities and why they're crucial to maintaining our infrastructure and supporting our community. Before I jump into our critical needs requests, I think it's important for us to highlight the county strategic objectives that guide our department efforts. These objectives ensure that we're improving infrastructure, service quality, and community trust through measurable and actionable strategies. Under the first objective, infrastructure, we aim to complete a comprehensive inventory and condition assessment across all major asset classes. And for us, that includes road and bridge, fleet, and stormwater. This will allow us to prioritize maintenance and funding needs effectively. And of course, all of our critical needs requests are today related to this area. You'll also likely note that many of our requests are centered on stormwater infrastructure. As we mature in our asset management, we've identified this to be an area that requires attention. And then, of course, service quality. Improving service quality involves both enhancing resident satisfaction and ensuring our workforce is engaged and well-equipped. Internally, we're focused on attrition to understand and improve employee retention and engagement, which is key to maintaining a high level of service. And then finally, community trust. We're implementing new communication strategies and continuously evaluating resident satisfaction to ensure that we are transparent and responsive to community needs. Our department's operating indicators, these indicators, of course, help us measure our progress and identify areas where improvement is needed. Under fleet and equipment, while our aim is an average fleet age of 6 years, that's our target, the current average is 7 years. Importantly, though, our critical fleet readiness rate is high at 96%, surpassing our target of 90%. Under our maintenance programs, the chip seal program has exceeded expectations with 99.32 lane miles completed, above the target of 95 lane miles. Likewise, the pavement overlay program exceeded expectations, achieving 77 lane miles against the target of 71. The pavement preservation program, this is our contracted chip seal, fog seal, slurry seal, is another program that exceeded expectations this year with the completion of 211 lane miles. Both the roadway graveling program and our reclamation program did face some challenges this year with the equipment and manpower, and we're hoping that by December 31st, if the weather and equipment cooperates, we'll get close to meeting our production target. And then finally, our customer service. This remains a focus area for us. Our customer service request completion rate within 90 days is at 60%, well below our target of 70%, indicating a need for process improvement in this area. And these are improvements which we've already undertaken through the reorganization of our customer service function. Our first critical needs request is the South Academy Pond upgrades, and this request is for $500,000. This structure is a critical piece of our stormwater management infrastructure, requiring significant upgrades to meet current regulatory requirements and manage sediment accumulation effectively. The pond has been accumulating sediment due to upstream erosion, which makes maintenance difficult and expensive. The current inadequate concrete structures are not designed to handle this sediment load, necessitating upgrades to reduce maintenance frequency and ensure compliance with our municipal separate storm sewer or MS4 permit. Upgrading the pond will reduce the cost and frequency of maintenance and improve downstream water quality, providing long-term savings and environmental benefits. If we don't fund these upgrades, the pond's capacity will continue to diminish, increasing the risk of flooding and noncompliance with the MS4 permit. If it is funded, we plan to stabilize upstream erosion sources and upgrade the pond's components to ensure compliance with the MS4 permit, which also extends the life of the asset. And this next slide is a series of 3 photos, and we wanted to share these with you to help illustrate some of the challenges we're having at this pond location. The first photo shows some of the upstream erosion issues that are causing sediment flows to this pond. And again, I want to be clear, these photos don't do the scope and scale justice, but they are an indication of some of the challenges that we're facing. The second photo shows the inflow point of the pond that is simply clogged with sedimentation. This image was taken in April of 2023. After taking this photo, DPW teams removed the significant sediment from this pond in a large multi-day operation. The third photo shows the return of the sediment within 2 months of the April cleaning operation. So clearly this is an ongoing issue that must be corrected to ensure that we're addressing downstream water quality, potential flooding, as well as MS4 permit compliance. Our next critical needs request is our stormwater conveyance system condition assessment, and this is for $1.5 million. A comprehensive condition assessment of our stormwater conveyance system is a critical requirement under our MS4 permit. This assessment is necessary to identify areas of weakness and plan for necessary upgrades. It's also a key component of the county strategic plan objective 1, infrastructure. The assessment, if funded, will provide the data needed to identify pollutant sources, weaknesses, and areas that require mitigation within our stormwater infrastructure. The information will be crucial for developing proactive maintenance programs and ensuring regulatory compliance. If not funded, without this assessment, we remain in a reactive state, only addressing failures as they occur, which increases the costs and risks of infrastructure damage. Again, wanted to share a couple of photos with you just to kind of highlight what it is we're trying to address. The first photo is a storm sewer system pipe located adjacent to B Street and 2 commercial buildings. The level of degradation of this pipe wasn't evident until it was almost catastrophic. The second image is of a pipe which is companion infrastructure to Goldfield Road that failed this summer. The failure caused an emergency closure of Goldfield Road in order to make repairs. And I think the thing I'd like to highlight in this slide is, or this photo, is if you'll take a look, you can see what appears to be gravel. This isn't sedimentary gravel or stream flow gravel. This is the gravel that the pipe was laid on. And the bottom of that pipe is rusted out so bad that that gravel is now exposed. And so these are the types of things that we are trying to get in front of with this conveyance system assessment. Again, this request, if approved, will greatly assist in the development of proactive maintenance programs as well as ensuring regulatory compliance. Our next critical needs ask is for a stormwater master plan. The county stormwater master plan is egregiously outdated, having been last revised in 1984. And I recognize that the cost of such a study can give sticker shock. And I'd like to explain some of the key cost drivers. The first, of course, is, as we're all aware here, just the geographic scale of the county. Included in this, in the county's size, is 13 watersheds, 21 sub-watersheds, 145 drainage basins, 11 jurisdictional dams, and 185 permanent control measures, or what we generically call ponds. Also, a key factor of the cost is our varied terrain. The county has a range of topographical features which we are anticipating will increase the complexity of stormwater modeling. And then, of course, limited existing studies and hydrologic models that are available to us. Limited studies have been conducted since 1984, and challenges will be inherent with selecting the appropriate hydrologic models to use that represent or present the complexities of the county well. And then, as you have heard earlier, regulatory requirements. Compliance with both state and federal stormwater management regulations, including those related to Clean Water Act, will add to our costs due to the need for subject matter experts in these areas. We also are hoping through this process to have a large public outreach effort to engage communities across a wide area in order to help identify problematic areas. A revised stormwater master plan, if approved, will provide a comprehensive guide for mitigating flood risks, planning infrastructure upgrades, and ensuring regulatory compliance across both rural and urban areas within the county. Without a current stormwater master plan, we'll continue to operate in a reactive mode. which leads to higher costs and potential legal penalties due to non-compliance with regulatory requirements. In this next slide, I'd just like to show a quick video, and I'm hoping this works, and it is working. This is from the floods of 2023, and this is the Ellicott Bridge. You can see where the floodwaters have swept down and essentially wiped out our detour that we had in place. If you'll notice in the background, as it pans around, you'll see some of our very large pipe that has been floated downstream with this action. Fortunately, these events or these types of events don't happen too often for us, but when they do, they're catastrophic for those impacted. The completion of this stormwater master plan will help us understand these flows, basins that contribute to these flows, and inform our future development and CIP projects to protect against these types of flows. Our next critical need is the Windmill Gulch Regional Detention Ponds, and this is a $700,000 request. These ponds were constructed before the current MS4 permit standards were in place and require a detailed condition assessment to guide necessary upgrades for flood control and water quality treatment. These two ponds have accumulated significant sediment over the years, and their current condition poses a risk to downstream properties due to potential flooding. The benefit, if this is approved, is upgrading these ponds will enhance flood protection for nearby neighborhoods, reduce long-term maintenance costs, and improve overall water quality. If funded, we plan to conduct a detailed study that will assess the current state of the ponds and guide the necessary upgrades to meet the latest stormwater management standards. And again, just wanted to demonstrate some photos that are indicative of these ponds. While our maintenance crews have been able to address some of the issues you see in these photos, we simply don't have a good idea of the extent to which these ponds have deteriorated beyond their original designs. Again, this condition assessment, if approved, will inform what it will take to return these ponds to their original design capacity as well as upgrade to meet current regulatory requirements. And then our next request is a road. Yes.
Where are those ponds at?
I'm sorry.
Where are the Windmill Gulch ponds?
They are down south in the fountain area.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, our next request is our road resurfacing and safety improvements. As you're aware, with over 2,300 lane miles of paved roadways, additional funding is necessary to keep deferred transportation infrastructure maintenance at a minimum. As mentioned earlier in the presentation, with a similar request last year, we were able to repave 77 lane miles of roadway and conduct pavement preservation activities on another 211 lane miles throughout the county. With this request, we'd also like to apply a portion of this funding on system-wide safety improvements in hotspot areas with a focus on stop-controlled intersections. We currently have our local road safety committee looking at locations and treatments that we can bring to bear to improve safety at these locations. The benefit, of course, is the continuity in funding ensures our roadways are maintained at their current service levels or higher, and pavements are preserved and lifespan is maximized. Without this funding, by relying on sources like Pikes Peak Rural Transportation Authority funds only, the county's roadway network is projected to degrade from our current service levels. Our current system-wide PCI, and that's our pavement condition index, 1 being the lowest, 100 being the highest, is at a 69. Our modeling shows that if we were to rely solely on PPRTA funding, our PCI would fall to a 62 within 5 years and see a continuous expedited drop from there, and we simply wouldn't be able to keep up. With this funding request, coupled with the additional funding we received in previous years, our modeling shows we can increase our overall PCI by 1% each year. We can accomplish this by making data-driven asset management decisions, solid condition assessments, a robust overlay program, coupled with the continued use of our pavement preservation program. If funded, funds will be placed into a current ongoing maintenance contracts for expedited execution. And we hope to have a roads list, and we will have a roads list ready for presentation to the board sometime in early to mid-November for your consideration. Our critical needs request add an additional $16.2 million to the base budget. As a recap, that's $500,000 for the South Academy pond upgrades, $1.5 million for our stormwater conveyance system condition assessment, $1.5 million for our stormwater master plan, $700,000 for the Windmill Gulch Regional Ponds condition assessment, and then $12 million for road resurfacing and safety improvements. And pending your questions, this concludes my presentation.
Commissioner Williams.
Yes, are those one-time increases or are they permanent?
There, one time.
Oh, darn it. Okay. That would be nice if they could be permanent, but that's not going to happen apparently this year. Thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, so it'd be nice if we got those permanent. Looking at Nikki, now I just wanted to thank you for this. When Stan and I came on board, and I think the commissioners we've seen, it's usually public safety and roads are what we get the most, response and questions to. And so I just wanted to thank the Public Works Department and Nikki again for all the great work in 8 years of seeing us being very strategic and impactful on these increases over the last several years. And so I like seeing this once again. And it's going to be my last budget, seeing increases to roads because that's what we do. We get public safety and roads. That's what we get calls on, and that's what I've always tried to prioritize. And so thank you for this budget request.
Commissioner Vanderwerf.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. And I'll echo the comments of Commissioner Gonzalez. I feel like we've done good for DPW, allowing for pay increases, helping out in allowing you to get CDL licensure for employees that come into DPW, and then investing immensely in capital equipment to modernize that equipment, making it safer for your employees, but also just massively enhancing their productivity. And then also investing in asset management control software that allows you to better manage, your physical equipment. These are all really great things, and we've done this together as a team. I'm really proud of what you all have done, and my thanks and regards to the entire team, every single person. On the $1,500 for the stormwater conveyance system condition assessment, $1.5 million. Let me get this correct. Yeah, I think it's to the extent that we may not have really excellent fidelity on what we've got and what we don't have. It's really important to know that, because if we don't even know the answer to that question, then we don't know what kinds of grants to chase or what kind of work to do. And, us getting now into this, the new Army Corps of Engineers project, I think we're pursuing the $20.5 million grant authority. This assessment should, in my opinion, you can tell me if this is accurate or inaccurate, would inform us about what projects we're going to truly need to do in a preventative way, and then getting the authorization for that grant money, which doesn't mean we have the grant money yet. It means we can go for those dollars, plus everything else that we've been doing. We should really, maybe 2, 3, or 4 years from now, be in even that much better shape.
You're absolutely right, Commissioner. And I'll tell you, as we've, matured in our asset management process, we have found clearly, based on our critical needs requests over the last couple of years, that stormwater is probably the one that we're lacking the most in. And by completing these assessments, it adds that fidelity that you're talking about. We're going to know, what do we have? What condition is it in? How does that impact development? How does that impact our CIP projects? It just starts to answer those questions. And so that in the future, just like with roadways, when we stand up here with those budgetary requests, we can come up with the data and the facts, not an emotional plea, but the data and the facts to back those requests up.
Yeah, great. And I just imagine that what you'll do once you're informed by this, assuming it's voted for approval and all of that, is from the output of this assessment, you'll build a strategic plan on taking care of the worst of the worst.
Absolutely.
That has the highest risk for harm to citizens or harm for productivity, that kind of stuff. And then just keep working it year after year until we have a substantial amount of it worked off.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
Vice Chair Bremer.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. You and all of the DOT Public Works employees have just done a phenomenal job of streamlining processes. And you just mentioned just the data, just the facts, and you have put more and more systems online to be able to do that. Down to real time, where are the snow plows and where do they need to be deployed that's maybe more efficient. I think it's really impressive. So while these numbers and critical needs, pretty much capital expense requests look very, very large, they are critical to what we can do and how we can continue to serve the community. And the other point was made, hey, we prioritize public safety and infrastructure. And to me, roads and bridges are a part of public safety as well. And so you see big price tags on things like this, but I believe they're well worth protecting the safety of how our citizens get around. So thank you for stellar job in doing that and being efficient with it.
Thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, thanks. I know Holly mentioned one is in my district, District 4. Good photos of the damage that we need to support. On I think the pipe failings. Did you say Goldfield or Goldfield?
Goldfield.
Okay, so that's
Yes.
District 4 as well.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I'm glad to see some of these fixes being done. So, thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Commissioner Gonzalez. I just too want to say thank you for the tremendous work. To Commissioner Brummer's point, these are pretty large requests, but this is exactly what this board has prioritized. We know how important that is, and these are the core services that every single one of our citizens expects for us to take care of. These are not things that they want to see neglected, and I believe that this focus on infrastructure is exactly what our citizens have asked us to do. Certainly, I feel that way in my district, and I'm going to look forward to supporting these items. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, this is going to help us make better budget decisions going forward, as well as better policy decisions. So thank you for all the work from you and your team bringing these items to us.
Thank you all for recognizing the hard work of the DPW team. And I got to tell you, this is the highlight of this event for me, is being able to take those kind words back to that hardworking team and let them know that they're appreciated. So thank you.
Great. So we're going to go ahead now and call for public comment on this presentation. So if there's anyone here who would like to speak on this presentation, if you'd come forward now. And I don't see anyone coming forward in the room, and we do not have anyone online.